Sweet weekend in college football coming up, highlighted by OU and Texas, or Texas and OU, depending on where you.
Oh yeah, you might have just caused an international incident.
Well, it's funny because I was listening to the KNC Masterpiece earlier today, and Corey Majors was kind of detailing, which version of how they say it, how he says the game, and obviously for him it's
OU Texas.
OU Texas, but for someone like Ross or Larry Flores or Clarence Hill Jr., Lucius Alexander, it's Texas OU. Going into
Red River Showdown, baby.
Or Red River rivalry.
Well, this is the thing. I of course, this is where I end up being the annoying jerk nerd thing. Red River rivalry encompasses the entirety of the rivalry between the schools, so that's all sports. Now, the football game was typically denoted by the term Red River Shootout.
That's right. Which
we got to a point in this country where we're like, hey, we probably shouldn't use that particular word. And so people started referring to it as the Red River Showdown.
That's right.
And so me personally, being the nerd that I am and knowing that, I call it the Red River Showdown.
Okay. Similar to how my school, the University of Missouri, how we played Kansas. Relax. Played for all those years. It was the border war.
Yeah.
And folks were like, hey, y'all might want to relax on the whole war thing.
Yeah, it's not that crucial.
So we turned it into the border showdown.
Hey, there it is.
Yeah, exactly.
We found it.
When in doubt, go showdown. That's what it appears to be. But some good college football action. And, of course, we got the Texas State Fair this weekend.
Yes. Yeah.
Which you've never been to.
Still haven't, and I probably won't this year.
You're going to go to the fair this year. My wife and I are going to see to it that you go to the fair
this is not the first time that someone has said that. Corey Majors thought he had done it a couple of years.
You got a niece that you need to come hang out with. So
as long as you pay him.
Wow.
Brother.
Oof. Wow.
The way my bank account's set up.
As if mine ain't set up, kind of something like, wow, okay, all right. We're going to make that happen. All right. I'm going to talk to my wife about it this weekend.
I'll go with you, Reggie. It'll be fun.
Thanks, man. That's gonna be an awkward situation because ain't the fair definitely like isn't that date prime time? Isn't that the dating Super Bowl? Taking a lady to the fair?
It depends on if you're into that sort of thing, I guess.
Dating or the fair?
The fair.
Oh, okay.
Relax, Reg.
I don't know.
Jeez.
You didn't specify.
Wow. But yeah, a lot of people take significant others to the state fair. That's what my wife and I were doing. Actually, got some friends of ours that we're going to do a double date with.
Yeah.
They wanted to go to the fair. It was like, yeah, we'll go hang out, spend a bunch of money on food, leave the kids at home. As my daughter, she gets a designated day to go to the fair because they give the school a free ticket to each kid. So mom and dad had to pay for it. But yeah, we'll find our way to the state fair. And you're coming with us.
You say that. Anyways, one thing that we definitely know is happening is the Red River Showdown, as I like to call it. You can call it what you want. I'm not telling you what to say. 214, yes, I can see that. But there's a few questions that were asked for week 6 because it's not the only college football game that's happening this week. So let's kind of see what we feel about some of these questions.
Ooh, okay.
We will start, however, with this particular rivalry at the Cotton Bowl. Which coach needs a Red River Showdown win the most?
I'm gonna go with Brent Venables.
Okay.
Same.
I think for him,
you said same real quick, Ross.
Of course, I mean he's a Texas fan.
He's like, no, we stick by our guy.
Hey, apparently. Ross, let me ask you, what happened the last time Texas played Oklahoma at the Cotton Bowl? What happened last time?
Well, since you asked,
why are you doing this? You know Carter's gonna throw you over the top rope, right?
It'll be all right.
Okay.
So the last time these two heated rivals played, Texas beat Oklahoma by a whooping 49-0.
Woo!
Which for those at home who may not know or may have chosen to forgotten, like our good friend Carter Freeman, it was the worst loss in program history. Going back to World War II.
Wow.
Right, for all our Sooner listeners, just know, direct all attention to Kevin Gray and Ross Lebinsky.
I just asked him the question because it, solidified my answer. Brent Venables needs this win for his Oklahoma Sooner program.
Why is that?
He's building something there. I mean, they're 5-0, and got a really good. They're starting to build a good defense there. And if you can take out Steve Sarkisian with that offense with Quinn Ewers, Xavier Worthy, Jonathan Brooks, the talented, running back that they have, you put yourself on the map as a legitimate team in the Big 12 in the final year of the Big 12 this year. And you do have the inside track at that point for the Big 12 championship game. So Oklahoma, I think, needs this win more than Texas.
I'm going the other way. I think this is a Steve Sarkisian win that's necessary.
Okay.
I think you're right. Brent Venables is building a program, and I understand last year happened, and that was tough. This year, for the first time in forever, I'm seeing the Oklahoma defense is better than the offense, and so I've seen proof of concept there with Oklahoma, and I don't know that I've had a lot of expectation for Oklahoma when it comes to playoff. Not saying that's something that's outside of their realm of possibility, just not that expectation for me personally. The Texas is back thing, I know has been kind of a joke, but as we detailed earlier in the season, this is the first year that the media members for the Big 12 actually voted Texas as the preseason favorite to win the conference. This is the first time that the Texas is back thing is relatively real. So to stub your toe in this way, and not to say that this would be akin to losing to Kansas or anything, and of course now I have to do the mea culpa because Kansas is actually somewhat good this year. You understand what I'm saying? This isn't the same thing. This would be a good team that you lose to. However, it would be a roadblock in a year where there seems to be a few teams that can make it into that 14 playoff situation. So you do not want to hamper your opportunity to get to the playoff and really solidify this opportunity to be closer to what Texas is supposed to perennially be. And so I think that this would be a real shot to the heart for the Texas program if they were not able to get this one done on Saturday.
Yeah, because you have a chance this season, if you're Texas, to have gone on the road. Of course, you already beat Alabama, and then to back it up against your biggest rival and really solidify your march toward the Big 12 championship and solidifying yourself in the college football playoff. Yeah, it's a massive weekend for both of these teams. I think for Oklahoma, they need a little bit more, but you're right. For Steve Sarkisian, this would be a massive win for him after having already gotten one on the road against Alabama, and what that does for their national championship chances this year before they head to the SEC.
Now, KG, as we move this around college football a little bit in week 6, does Georgia actually have a QB problem? Have you kept up with Georgia at all? I know they've been over there just kind of doing the thing, handling the business as they're supposed to, but Carson Beck is the quarterback of that team, and he didn't throw a touchdown until his final pass of the game at Auburn. This clearly isn't Stetson Bennett. This isn't Aaron Murray.
Right.
This is Carson Beck isn't that same thing. Do you think there's a quarterback problem for Georgia?
Let me ask you a question in retort to that.
Okay.
Does Brock Bowers still play for that team?
Sure does.
Okay, they're cool.
Okay.
Yeah, throw it to him.
You're in that position where it's just just get it done.
Yeah. Handle business. Let that defense win. Let that defense be able to help you march toward another national championship, possible appearance this year. As long as he's not turning the football over, protecting the ball, and allowing Brock Bowers to be able to make some plays, in the open field, I think they'll be okay. But yeah, it's definitely some concern in Athens based on the questionable quarterback play so far. But Brock Bowers still there. He's a monster. Throw him the football more often than not. You're going to be okay.
Yeah, I think that you're on the right track there. I don't view it as a problem, but I definitely view it as something that you have to be a little concerned about.
Sure.
And the thing about it is I look around the SEC, and I actually don't see the teams that are poised to take advantage of whatever is left lacking from Carson Beck. So I'm viewing Georgia as in a place where they're fine. They're continuing to handle their business as currently constituted, and we'll see ultimately where they show up when somebody gives them some level of test. How are you interested in this A&M Alabama game that's coming up?
From the standpoint of, have they found their quarterback in Alabama with Milroe, and do they feel continually better about him week over week?
Well, he's the best one they got.
That's the best one that they have, and what that looks like going now on the road in a hostile environment in College Station. For Texas A&M, this is one of the better shots that Jimbo Fisher's had to take out what is a down Alabama team right now, which you better get while they're down right now, to be able to handle business and win that game. This is a good shot for Jimbo Fisher and his crew to get that done this weekend.
All right, so there's 2 potential upset picks for Week 6 that I'm going to throw at you. Obviously, it'd be Texas A&M plus 1.5 over Alabama, or Washington State plus 3 over Chip Kelly's UCLA. Which one do you like a little bit better?
Oh, I don't trust Chip Kelly as far as I can throw him. So,
okay, you're riding with Cam Ward and the Washington State Cougars.
Going the Cougs of Washington State. Yeah, I'll take that one.
I think that's a fun game to keep an eye on. I actually kind of like A&M in this one with Alabama.
What would happen if if Texas A&M gets that done this week? Aggies fans are going to be insufferable having beaten Alabama based off of what Alabama's been so far this year.
And they should be, even though I don't think that, like it doesn't mean the same thing as it has in years past, because this is a down Alabama, one of the downest Alabamas that I've seen in quite a while. However, ain't nobody historically going to look back and tell you all that stuff, and even if they do, you can tell them that you go somewhere else, right? Like, we beat Alabama, we going to hold on to that one, right? And particularly the way that it's gone for A&M over the last season or two because of the Jimbo Fisher tenure. I think you go ahead and you hold on to that one. But no, I really love, and I would implore as many people as possible, and I think a lot of people are already on this train, watch more of that Pac-12. The quarterbacks that have moved into that league have been really fun, and Cam Ward's one of those transfer guys, and he has been just fantastic. He has 1,389 yards and 13 touchdowns with 0 interceptions on 141 attempts. Like, it's really fun. So I'm enticed by that game, and I like your pick as well when it comes to Washington State. But I like the spicy pick of seeing if Alabama is going to fully go into the Alabama mode that they're capable of when it looks bad.
And more importantly, if you're Texas A&M, a win over Alabama puts you in the driver's seat in the SEC West. We've seen how LSU has struggled. So far, they may be in trouble against my Missouri Tigers this weekend in Columbia.
Oh, go ahead, talk to them.
My 5-0 Missouri Tigers right now handling business after crushing, handling Vanderbilt. Last week, they're setting up for a nice showdown, 2 ranked opponents in Columbia on Saturday at 11 a.m. For the Tigers versus the Tigers. But yeah, for Texas A&M, you really put yourself in good position in the SEC West to take advantage of what has been a struggling LSU team. And then with the win over Alabama, you're right there with a direct line to the SEC title game if you continue to handle your business there as well.
So you go. There's a little bit of a conversation leading up to Week 6 in college football. Of course, we still got you tomorrow, 7 to 11 p.m. right here on 105 through the Fan, where of course we'll get more into the game between the two rivals in the Red River Showdown, the Texas Longhorns and Oklahoma Sooners. And of course, remember, I said it in that order just because that's how it shows up on the rankings right now. Don't come for me.
Okay. That's going to be a hell of a weekend on this coming weekend. You've got, as you mentioned, Texas, Oklahoma, Rangers, Orioles in the playoffs, and of course the Cowboys and the 49ers in Santa Clara. It's going to be one fun weekend of sports. Tune in right here on 105.3 The Fan.